I hope everyone is doing well, staying safe and warm with this winter storm underway. We've had 10 to 12 inches here in Columbus, Ohio, and it's still snowing. And I don't know what it's going to be like after it's over. We'll know tomorrow morning. We might have as much as 16 inches. Now I'm showing you our patio. It's covered with snow, as you can see. Completely covered. Look how deep the snow is. It is very deep. I'll show you this table. Look how much snow. Oh my goodness. That's how much snow we have. It's my crazy husband. Get back in there. You don't even have a coat on. And here's our little dog Boo Boo. Danny paved a nice path for her to walk on. Believe it or not, this is the garden where we grew the butternut squashes. And it's covered in snow almost knee deep. This is a beautiful winter scene. The problem is it's only 11 degrees and we need to be careful with these extremely cold temperatures. I need to get onto the pantry. I'm behind on my pantry organization. I have some new containers. I have some new ideas. That's what we're going to do today with this pantry challenge. Week 4, we are going right into pantry reorganization. There's always improvements that can be made as we go into this challenge and you see how things can be organized better. I hope I can give you some tips and ideas that will help you with your own kitchen and pantry organization. All right, here are the new canisters that I purchased from Walmart. And for 4 canisters, I got a pretty good deal. I'll let you know how much it cost. And I did wash each container and they are completely dried now. I need to get the flour and sugar out because that's what's going in these containers. Now this is an old metal cabinet that has been here for years. It's not dirty, but it's rusted, so that's rust. We need to replace this with a dishwasher on wheels. I'm hoping one day, but right now we're just using it. I've been keeping my flour and sugar in these coffee containers, Maxwell House, I believe. Well, I'm done with that. I've got those see-through containers now. Okay, flour. I hope I don't make a mess on this table. Let's see how much fits in here. More than 5 pounds, I can tell you that. Okay, we got our flour in here. Looks like 10 pounds would fit all together, but I'm not sure. So we have a new scoop measurement cup. Put that in here. And it's on here. Flour's done, now the sugar. I believe this is all the sugar I have. It's less than 5 pounds. These containers will keep the dry goods secure from air and moisture. These look a lot better than coffee canisters. Now the brown sugar I'm going to use in the bag. My mom always said, always keep your brown sugar in a bag inside the canister to keep it fresh. Brown sugar dries out easier than any other sugars. So that's what we'll do. All right, the brown sugar is in a container. These are completely secured, and when you go to open them, you just snap these open. Now I have my powdered sugar in these 2 containers, and I'm gonna put it in this container. And it's gonna make a mess, so I gotta be careful. I put it in a bowl with a spout. Okay, I'm determined to do this, okay? Without the spout, it would have been nearly impossible. This was too wide for this container. I spilled some on the table anyway, but not much. Just gotta go slow, take it slow. We did it, folks. Look, without making too much of a mess. To show you the realistic picture of what went on here. I did spill a little bit of powdered sugar, but not much. Good. These containers, I need these for leftovers that can go in the freezer. Leftover meals, like we can make our own TV dinners or something like that. Frozen dinners. Now these are going in the recycle bin. I'm done with these. So to make it more functional, I put the flour and the sugar towards the front. And then I put the brown sugar and the powdered sugar back here because I don't use them nearly as often as the white sugar and the flour. Also in the back behind the canisters, it's my plan to have extra bags of flour and sugar in the future for long-term storage. We want to have the items in the front that we use most often, like the flour, the white sugar, and the oats. All right, so we got this organized, and down here I organized this also. It was just too hard to film from this angle. I've got some extra products back here that will eventually go into the kitchen cabinets when we use up what's already there. This is a great space for stocking up on canned and packaged items that are marked down at really good prices. The juice just goes into the refrigerator when needed. I went ahead and organized this. I store potatoes. Now, these are the oldest potatoes. These are russets. And there were some small ones mixed in with very large ones that came from Aldi. And I just put the small ones on top. They will, of course, they get soft and they go bad faster. So we want to use those up sooner, just like the sweet potatoes. Now I store my sweet potatoes that came from the garden in the back room, but the small ones are the ones that I want to use up. Now we have ample room in our rustic metal cabinet for oils and vinegars and cooking spray and lots of condiments, as you can see, that we will have to refrigerate when we open them. But to me, this makes sense, grouping similar items together. And down below, we have some extra baking supplies that I don't use very often. And then I was working on the spices and getting the spices organized. And I have more room now than what I did because I put some things down in that metal cabinet. Same with up here. I tried to make things, I want it to make sense. My husband drinks tea sometimes, and he thinks the tea should be right next to the coffee, which does make sense. We have a little bit of hot cocoa left in those little packets there, whatever they're called, little pods. So we need to use those up before we put the extra hot cocoa that hasn't been opened up that's in the pantry closet. Okay, then we keep our sweet spices grouped together here. We got some extra bouillon cubes. Didn't quite fit in with the jars. They're cubes, and I believe they're cubes, and they're in a box, which is different. I'd rather they be in a jar or something, and I might change that out. And the spices that we use the most often, like, what's this? Chili powder and oregano, and the parsley. Oh, but I have parsley from the garden right there that I dried in the oven. And then, of course, garlic. So the things that we use the most often, we like to put in the front. And then we have some baking supplies that I use all the time, like measuring cups, measuring spoons. These things I use all the time. Pantry essentials that I use all the time are in the front. I guess that makes sense. It's very challenging. There's a lot to running a kitchen, that's for sure. Especially when you cook from scratch. And you can see we have quite a bit of canned goods left. This is it through the month of February. We are not buying any canned goods until March 1st because of the pantry challenge. We're on a low spend pantry challenge here. Low spend for groceries. The other items, we didn't have a problem with spending. I didn't have to go low spend on anything else, just the groceries. That's where we splurge the most. We go to restaurants occasionally. It's not very often. But you can see my husband wanted the honey right next to the peanut butter, and I got to make it the hubby happy. There's two people that live here, not just one, not just me. He lives here too. But I like to put the canned fruit right here, and we only have one can of peaches. We don't have any pineapples right now. If we allow ourselves to with this challenge to buy fresh fruit. If I see a pineapple marked down, I may buy it. Okay, and there's some soup. And evaporated milk that I didn't know what to do with. It just looks good there, so why not? And then some items that I don't use very often. But of course, we'll use the macaroni, and it was in a box that was open, and I decided to put it in a jar. And then I have lentils and quinoa that I'll be cooking up for myself. My husband does not care for those items. And then up here, we just have our noodles and, our pastas and rice. Yeah. And Jiffy cornbread mix. We buy packaged goods, but we're not buying any until March 1st. This is what you see here is everything here is not going to be replaced until March 1st. So if we run low, if I use a whole bunch of something and I use up all the soup, that's it. I have to make we have tomato soup, and that's it. I have frozen tomatoes in the freezer. We can use that for tomato soup. I can make homemade tomato soup with that. So what you see is what you're going to continue to see, and you're not going to see anything else added to this until after February. As far as what I've been cooking in the kitchen, we've had a lot of leftovers. We just finished off that cornbread salad today, and it was very good, very good. It was still very good. I shredded some extra cheese, and we had chopped onion on it. I did cook a few things this week, but it was very easy. I was able to use some canned beef to create a wonderful meal with roasted potatoes and peppers. And I also boiled some eggs, which is a great idea. In case the electricity goes out, you'll have a protein already prepared. And I also roasted some sweet potatoes with bell peppers and onions so we could have a really good side dish for our canned beef, and cooked broccoli. So you can see I did do some cooking, but we eat baked potatoes. You just microwave them. It's very simple. I'm going to be doing some home cooking coming up, though, because we ran out of no-bake cookies. And I need some kind of dessert, of course. And my husband always has his morning bagel almost every single day. He actually fixed French toast this morning. Now, I don't eat store-bought bread. I do not eat yeast. I have a reaction to yeast. But one of these days, I am going to, if you have any recipes for me that do not contain yeast, let me know. It has to be something I have in the kitchen, though. Like, what about baking soda? So I might try that sometime, make some baking soda bread. But this pantry challenge has been a lot of fun, and it teaches us a lot. If you're participating, let me know. I'd love to hear all about it, and any kitchen organization tips you can give me without spending money. That's the good thing about it. You can organize without spending money. You don't even have to buy the containers I bought. I could have continued using the Maxwell House coffee containers, but I decided to update it and make it look nice, and it made me feel good. So it's good to do things that make you feel good, especially for the new year when you're isolated inside the house because of the winter snow. And I hope everyone is doing fine. There was a lot of snow. All we got, though, was 12 inches. I thought sure we would get more than that. And parts of Ohio did get more than 12 inches. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but certain areas of the country suffered more than we did. And we need to pray for those areas and for those people. I'm going to show you a glimpse of what it looks like outside before I say goodbye. Oh, this is through the window. I still got snowflakes on the windows here. I'm going to take these off. These need to be replaced with hearts because Valentine's Day is coming up. All right, let me show you something besides our recycle bin in our dumpster. Okay. It's still very, very cold out here. Oh, it's only 13 degrees, and tonight is supposed to go down to 0. So there's across the street. You can see the winter scene across the street, the houses. This road has not been very busy at all today. Of course, the schools were closed. We didn't see much traffic at all. I finally hear a car coming by, but we haven't seen very many cars on Weber Road today. And there's the evergreen trees, and I haven't seen any birds. They haven't eaten from the suet that we put out, the bird feeder. I hope they come back, and I hope they'll be all right. I just love birds, and so many of them probably were smart and flew south for the winter, and I don't blame them. But we usually have a family of cardinals in this evergreen right here. And hopefully they're keeping warm in the branches below. Thanks for watching today. I hope I inspired you to do some kitchen and or pantry reorganization in a way that will work best for you and your family. While you are organizing your cupboards, you can do an inventory easily and know exactly what you have, so you're able to find those food items you need to pull out and make those great recipes. God bless each and every one of you. I'll see you on the next one.